Adam Page.
Yeah, CM Punk and Hangman Adam Page and the
There's a lot of stuff going on
promo
there.
that Punk cut on Adam Page. Who?
So has anything happened since?
Nope,
Okay.
nothing's happened since. So what happened? Hangman was told to go to the building,
Well,
and then was told not to go to the building.
Well, there's a lot of that's a different story. No, Punk is we'll get to that in a second. So Punk, the show's over and they're doing their goodbye promo and everything's fine. I mean, he wasn't even getting booed that much. It was a 50-50 reaction during the show. And then I don't know if Punk got mad at a sign, or he just can't help himself, I guess. I don't know what the deal is. So he starts talking about how you go to he calls Hangman Page merchandise like peg warmer, and talks about how nobody buys Page's merchandise. And then he made a crack about he didn't knock the Young Bucks because he's not allowed to do that, but he did in the press release when the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega and Adam Page signed their new 4-year deals. In that press release, they were talking about how they were the heart and soul. And Punk, I don't have the exact wording with me, but I have the wording somewhere. But Punk basically made fun of the idea that they're the heart and soul, and basically trying to claim that he's the, he sells merchandise and he drives ticket sales, and just this insinuation basically that the company, needs him and he's the draw and all that. And so did that. The people booed the hell out of him when he did that promo. Later, so that clip ended up on the, on Twitter and everywhere. Afterwards, which did not end up there, he continued to promo saying how much he loves all the fans and everything like that, the fans that were booing him and, that type of thing. So he was definitely trying to be a babyface. It was not an attempt to be a heel. This is not, an attempt. Some people are trying to think that it's like some attempt, like that they've had this secret thing and they're keeping it from everybody. And that is not the case. Believe me, that is not the case. Some people aren't going to believe me because they have to be smarter than everyone else. But if anything, every time Punk does something like this, it makes things worse. And in this case, what happened is there's been stuff since day one that has been going on, and it's been kept pretty quiet. And a lot of people really wanted to keep it quiet, but it's not quiet now because once he did that, things started coming out. So on yesterday's show in Greensboro, Adam Page was supposed to be there, not on the show. He was supposed to do a pre-tape. So he went to the show, was told that it's, basically not to go to the building. The pre-tape had been moved, and he did his pre-tape, but it was not at the building. Ryan Nemeth, okay, so the Ryan Nemeth story is that if you remember the ESPN article that Mark Raimondi wrote, okay, and Punk's doing the whole thing, and it's about Adam, doing his complaints about Adam Page. And Ryan Nemeth wrote, and he never used Punk's name or anything like that, but there was a line on Twitter, and he kind of insinuated, the guy, it's ironic that he's calling people soft, but he never used the name. So Punk confronts him on June 17th, Chicago, first night back, and there was something happened. I was told it was all settled. It wasn't a big deal. Obviously, it was not all settled. Punk's side very much was it's something that had to be taken care of. Well, it wasn't taken care of, and it what ends up happening, because one's a star and one is anything is not a star, is that Ryan Nemeth wasn't booked after that point, and a lot of guys don't get booked. It's whatever, and without, now that they don't have dark and dark elevation, the reality is guys like Ryan, Ryan Nemeth doesn't really have a place. Could they use him on Ring of Honor? Yeah, they could, of course. But it's not, it's whatever. So they hadn't booked him. So for whatever reason, he was supposed to come back last night in Greensboro. Came in, then was told, however the story goes, all of a sudden, people find out that he's there, and then he's told not to go to the building after he was booked. So he was never at the building. Nobody saw him at the building, but he was there. This is not the only time this has happened. This has actually been happening. It's happened to several other people.
Well, I think this happened twice to Ryan Nemeth. This happened once before, so this would have been the second time. Mm-hmm. And then, yes, there are other people who you will not be seeing on Collision.
Well, Matt Hardy was booked on a Saturday, went there, and then was told not to go to the building.
Yep.
After he got there. That was not last night, but Matt Hardy, Matt Hardy was one of them. Christopher Daniels, who had been working with Matt Seidel's tag team in Ring of Honor, for whatever reason, same thing happened with him. He's not supposed to go on Saturday, and he's freaking head of talent relations. So, and there may be others, but those are the ones that I know of. That's been happening too, and how this is going to end, who knows? It's just so wait and see what happens. But it's nothing. And there's a lot more too. There's a lot of other things too. But that's the